I want you to tell me, is the process of breathing voluntary or involuntary?
Involuntary?
Yes, involuntary. You don't have to think about it. You just do it. Your brain knows how to keep up with what you need. If you need oxygen, if you need carbon dioxide, and it can just control those muscles on its own in order to help you breathe. This breathing is controlled by your autonomic nervous system. So using the drawing tool on your screen, I want you to circle other bodily processes that are also considered involuntary. Leandria's got it. Lily has it. Okay, good. Hey, Leandria, you got it right. So you tell me which three of these things on the screen are also considered involuntary?
Digestion, heart rate, and pupil response.
Perfect. Digestion, heart rate, and pupil response. Those are also systems in the body that are controlled by that autonomic nervous system, just like our breathing. Okay, so as we consider talking about that autonomic control, we need to look at what actually causes that to happen in the lungs. And there's going to be two main structures we're looking at. First, we have our medulla oblongata, which is located at the base of your brain stem. So if you were looking at your brain, at the bottom of your brain stem, right at the very top of where your spinal cord connects, you have this medulla oblongata. And it controls autonomic nervous functions to help send signals to and from the brain, which tell the brain that we need to breathe. On the other hand, you also have a phrenic nerve, and that phrenic nerve runs all the way down the cervical spine, down the thoracic spine, right to the bottom of the diaphragm. And it connects to the diaphragm, sending signals to it which tell the diaphragm when to contract and relax. So knowing this, what do you think would happen if the phrenic nerve got damaged? And you should be able to click answer question on your screen and type in your answer below. What would happen if your phrenic nerve got damaged? Okay, good. I'm seeing a lot of good answers on here. Okay, good. So I'm going to point out a couple of things that people said. Lily said you would have diaphragm paralysis. Leandria also said paralysis of the diaphragm. Janasia said that the diaphragm wouldn't be able to contract and release, which would make it difficult to breathe. All of those are perfect answers. And another good answer, if your phrenic nerve was completely severed, then your diaphragm would not be able to contract or relax. But if your if your phrenic nerve only got partially injured or damaged, your reaction time could be off, or it would take longer for that signal to reach the diaphragm, meaning that your breathing would slow down and you would have to think harder about getting the oxygen into your system, which was Zaria's answer about your reaction time slowing down. Okay, all good answers. So, mid-lesson review. Let's talk about what we've learned so far today. So far, we really just looked at internal respiration versus external respiration, but we've learned what happens on the mechanical side as well as the cellular side. So for internal respiration, remember that oxygen is being metabolized to be used by the body. CO2 is then being diffused into the cells. The brain tells us that we need to inhale because we need more oxygen, and then your diaphragm contracts, helping to create that vacuum, pulling the air in. For external respiration, the oxygen is being diffused into the blood in order to be transported. CO2 is being diffused into the alveolar sac, which will eventually be exhaled from the body. Your brain is telling us that we need to exhale because we need to get rid of that CO2, so your diaphragm goes back to its dome shape, pushing the air out of the lungs. So using the drawing tool, somewhere on your screen, tell me how many times you think you breathe in 1 minute. And remember that one respiration is 1 inspiration plus 1 expiration, meaning every time you inhale and exhale, that is 1 breath or 1 respiration. So just guessing, tell me how many times you think you breathe in a minute. Okay, Leandria is guessing 13. Janasia's guessing 25. You can write it anywhere on your screen. Zari is guessing 20. Lily is guessing 12. Catherine guesses 26. Stephanie's guessing 20. Evelyn guessing somewhere between 20 and 25. Ashai is guessing 20. Okay, good. So now on our next screen here, we're actually going to count this. So remember, every time you breathe in and out, that is 1 respiration. I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute. You're going to count your own respirations at home, and then whenever you have that number at the end, you're going to write them on that line. Everybody get ready. Go. And stop. Okay, how many breaths did you breathe in that 1 minute? Go ahead and write that on your screen. Okay, Lily's was 15. Leandria 17. Stephanie 17. Shy at 18. Catherine 16. Okay, good. While you're writing your breaths down on these slides, remember that normal healthy adults breathe somewhere between 12 to 20 breaths per minute. Now, if you are above 20, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with you. Things like stress, anxiety, exercise, medications, or even sleep can actually change how fast or how slow someone might be breathing. So earlier I had you doing jumping jacks. That would, of course, increase your breathing rate, as well as things like just the anxiety of having to keep up with how many times you breathe can sometimes cause you to actually breathe faster. So some of you may have been a little higher than the 20 for a lot of different reasons, but the average is somewhere between 12 and 20. Okay, couple of respiration terminology things that you're going to need to know for your activities this week. The first one's going to be tachypnea. So if you can think way back to our unit on medical terminology when you took either foundations or health team relations, whichever one you took, tachypnea, the word tachy means fast or rapid. So if we put that in front of pnea, which means breathing, we have rapid breathing. Considering that normal is anything between 12 and 20, anything over 20 would be considered tachypnea. On the opposite end of that scale, we have bradypnea. Brady means slow, so then we have slow breathing, which would be less than 12 breaths per minute. Apnea, the word A in front of anything we know means without or lack of. So apnea is going to mean no breathing. And we commonly see this in people who have sleep apnea, which is when you periodically stop breathing while you are asleep. And then lastly, we have dyspnea, and dys means pain or painful. So dyspnea means painful breathing, and this could be a sign of some type of chronic condition, asthma attack, or other types of illnesses. So I want you to use the multiple choice question on your screen and click, do you think older or younger people are more likely to experience lung disorders? Okay, a lot of you are voting for older, and that would be correct. The lungs usually reach their maximum in capacity in early adulthood, and they tend to decline with age as you get older. The alveoli also tend to become loose, or they start to lose their shape, making them baggy. And if the alveoli lose their shape, they're not able to hold air properly, and so you're not getting in as much air into the alveoli as you need. Okay, next, do you think men or women are more likely to experience lung disorders?